Well, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon it is. Welcome to the Thursday, October 8th meeting of your Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club, celebrating 83 years of service to this community. You will stand with me. Our invocation today will be led by Bobby Haas. Our pledge by Buddy Brown. Neil and Sandra will lead us in singing You Are My Sunshine. And Coach Mike Kunstad's going to introduce our visiting Rotarians and guests. Bobby, you do.
I'm ready. We ask that the program today will be beneficial to everyone that's concerned. And Father, we ask that you will be in time in how we vote as it's approaching some days for the election. Father, we ask that you guide us. And all we do, Father, let us do it in your punishment.
Sing if you're online now. Well, great job there online. I could see President or District Governor-elect Max DuPlante singing along with us. So, Max, welcome. We're glad you're here. Rick Lindsay has joined us, past president. Thank you, all of you that are joining us online today. Well, introducing our visiting Rotarians and guests is Mike Kunstad. Mike. Hi, Nicole. Tracy. Tracy, who do we have with us today? All right. Welcome, Amy. Welcome, Sandy. We also have Muzzer Ali. Muzzer's on a conference call. He's going to be walking in a few minutes, so if you see him come in, he's the president or chairman of our YMCA board. Well, we have a couple of things we want to take care of today. We're always excited when we have an opportunity to bring in a new member. So I'm going to ask Dallas Burke to come up. And Jordan, could you unmute Rick Lindsay? And past President Lindsay, I believe Dallas is your member. You don't have to show us video unless you want to, but would you like to make some comments about Dallas Burke joining our club? We're not going to be able to hear you. Hold on a minute, Rick. We're trying.
What about now? Am I muted, Mr. President? Mr. President?
Yes, Rick, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, yes, sir. Thank you for that opportunity to welcome Dallas to become a Rotarian. I've known Dallas for quite a few years, worked with him back on Irving Flood District 1. He's on my board at the Irving Convention Visitors Bureau. He's given presentations, updates. So it is my pleasure and honor to welcome our new Rotarian, Mr. Dallas Burke, to the Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club.
Welcome. Thank you, Rick. Dallas, come over here so we can get you on camera here so everybody can see who you are. Dallas is taking the place of Jackie Knox, who's retired. And Dallas, we're glad to have you in Rotary. Richard Raymond seems to be extremely excited you have a pickup truck, because I think that's a new requisite for new members. We want a truck to help us with our flag program. So
somebody checked me out first.
I think they checked you out first. So this is your certificate of many objects of Rotary. We'll have your Rotary badge at next week's meeting, but we have a Rotary lapel pin that you're welcome to wear on your jacket or your collar if you like. But welcome to Rotary.
Thank you very, very much.
Excited to have you. Want to say something to the club or just introduce yourself?
Just again, I'm Dallas. It's a pleasure to join the club. I'm looking forward to doing a lot of great things with y'all. And just thank you for a very nice welcome. Thank you, Dallas.
Well, let me just remind everyone that 2 weeks from today, on Thursday, October 22nd, District Governor John Mosier is going to be here. If you're a board member or an Avenue of Service chair, he wants to meet with us at 11 o'clock that morning. We'll probably be meeting in one of the breakout rooms. So we'd like for you to be here for that part of the meeting. And then whether you're joining us in person or on Zoom, we'd love to have you here so we have a good turnout that particular day. We are going to do a little bit of special recognition and at least one Paul Harris Fellow. So really want to have a good turnout for the district governor. Just looking up, Bob Bourgeois has joined us and Robert Nelson has joined us online. Glad you guys are all there. And I'll take another moment to thank my son Jordan for helping us with the technology. I had one of those senior moments and left my laptop at the office, so we had to reconfigure today, but we made it all work. So thanks to Jordan. Well, some of you may be aware that there's some changes happening with the YMCA and their service to this community. And so we thought it would be good to let the YMCA come and really have an opportunity to give us an update while the building may not be utilized the way it was in the past. The services in this community are going to continue. And so I'm going to ask Brandy Perriman to come up, or actually, Teresa, you want to come up and introduce Brandy? Are you speaking first? Okay. All right, tag teaming. All right, so Tracy Love, the Executive Director of the Irving YMCA. Come on up, Tracy. Tracy's still wearing her new member badge. We need to get the blue badge so that, and we have a presentation to make to the YMCA at the conclusion of yours and Brandy's discussion. All right, welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
glad you're here.
Well, thank you all for having us today, and thank you for the opportunity to allow us to come and update you on the new way that the YMCA is going to continue to serve our community. Although we had to make the decision to close our location, today we're going to talk about how we're still going to keep our presence known and we're not going to leave this community. So me and Brandy, we're going to tag team today. So I'll talk a little bit and he'll talk a little bit and I'll come back and then he'll end us. So we're going to start. The YMCA, we used to be called the Irving YMCA when we had the facility, but now our name is shifting to the YMCA serving Irving. And we're going to talk a little bit today about how we're going to do that. So this is just a list of the wonderful people that serve as volunteers on our board. For Irving, Muzzer Ali, he's here, but he's in another meeting. He's our board chair. And I introduced two of our board members that are here with us today. But I just wanted to make sure that we recognize our volunteer board members and that very special person up there named Robert Alsop that has served on our board for several years. And I just wanted to make sure you guys know of the wonderful people that we have helping us serve our Irving community. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about our history, and we're going to have, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions to see if you guys can answer it, because one of the main things that we've heard since we've closed, not necessarily a ton of complaints, I should say, but just we've had so many stories about people and their wonderful memories and experiences that they've had at our YMCA. And so I'm going to ask you a couple questions to see if you guys know some of this history that I'm going to share with you. So the first question is, what year was the Irving YMCA branch built at the current location? Does anybody know that? Okay, you're close, but the actual building was built at the current location in 1962. Now, he said 1958, which is close to when we started the YMCA, but from as I'm learning our history too, we started out in Plymouth Park in a storefront, and then we moved to our current location with the YMCA building in 1962. So the next question is, what was the name of the gentleman that the pool was dedicated in memory of? The pool, yes, our pool. Okay, you're getting ahead of yourself. I'm gonna let you answer that in a couple minutes. So the pool was dedicated in memory of Charles Sharp, and that dedication took place in 1997. Okay, all right, get ready to answer. In 1973, what was the name of the family that donated the funds to build our gymnasium? Go ahead. Yes, ma'am. Yes, absolutely. And they are also responsible for helping build the Baylor Hospital too, right? They were doctors, and I think they donated some funds to help build that hospital as well. So, yes, the Stayer family. What was the name of the man who was one of our founding board members whose name we named our outdoor fields after? The answer's up there, so. So Chuck Dykes. Does anybody remember or know who Chuck Dykes is? Okay. Yeah, I met his daughter the other day, his daughter and his son the other day. They came and retrieved one of the signs that we had out there at the fields in honor of their dad, and they just shared with me tons of memories and stories that he had of our YMCA. So. And the last question is, what is the name of our longest active board member? Yes, Robert also. We wanted to make sure we highlight it and have some fun about that. And I'm going to call Brandy Perriman up. He's going to take this section.
Well, thank you for having me, and Coach Kunstad, good to see you. I haven't seen Coach in a while, and it's good to see some familiar Irving faces. So, Coach, if y'all don't know Coach K, he's got a long history with Gasso basketball and what he's done here, so I appreciate the time and effort you guys have here. So a little bit on the effects of the Y and why we're in the situation we're in with COVID. So as you can imagine, and some of y'all are dealing with as well, COVID has really affected us. And you see some stats up here, but when we were told to close on March 17th of governor's orders, you can imagine how that impacted us. So as of right now, we still only have about 4 40 to 45% of the people that are working out are used to work out. So 7 months ago, 100% of the people, we had 33,000 people working out. We now have 18, 19, 20,000 people. So, we're not in a good situation in the Y at all. So, people are starting to come back. It's starting to improve. But you can imagine everything we do in the Y is group scenario, right? Swim lessons, coffees for seniors, group exercise classes, basketball teams, day camp, I mean, everything kind of in groups. And not being able to have groups and having the social distance and things has changed our world a ton. So on June 1st, we were actually March 18th, we had the ability to open. We chose June 1st to open 7 of our centers, our branches, kind of just regionalized to open up. And again, we started the first week out, I think we had 15 to 20% of our normal population coming through to work out. So it's been a slow crawl. We have socially distanced our entire buildings. Our group exercise classes that used to hold 30 people now hold like 12 to 15. Our treadmills that are all lined up, as you can imagine, if you have 12 treadmills, every other treadmill is just kind of marked off and X'd off where you can't use it. So we've done a really good job of social distancing and spacing our equipment where people feel safe. And for the people that are coming in, they do feel safe. We've had COVID cases come up in our lives, but we've not had any case confirmed spreading. So we've had people that have come and got COVID from a family reunion or a weekend deal or whatever, just a family member, and they may enter our Y one day, and then 2 days later we find out they're positive because of something else. But we've not had the spread of any COVID in our Ys since we've been open, which has been phenomenal. So that just goes to tell you we've done some really good measures to make some of this happen. On June 15th, we opened another 6 Ys, and on June 22nd, we opened 3 more. And then you can see that last bullet there. We've gone from what normally is a $67 million budget for us annually with revenues to now we think we're going to finish this year at 37. So as you can see, it's just absolutely crushed us. So Jordan, if you can flip for me. We talked about membership a little bit. We're down about 40% membership dues. Our program as well, as you can see, decreased 65 to 75%. One thing this has taught us, and then we are rebounding, and I know I'm being kind of the negative slant right now on how this has affected us, but it has taught us to do things a lot differently. We're doing a ton more things virtually, which we all are, which you guys are as well. But it's taught us how to do things and do meetings and have actually better interactions and better formations with our board members as well. We've had a lot more engagement from our boards, not only from our corporate board, but our association and our branch boards as well. Because quite honestly, we need their help. This has been a hard time for us. So, and we'll talk about, Treats is going to follow me and talk about some catalyst initiatives that we've done as well that we're really proud of. That is kind of what we built the Y on years ago in the 1850s. We're kind of going back to that, and in some sense, it's not just a swim and gym anymore. We're kind of for the community, for food and for clothing and housing and things. So, one more good. 3 branches, which obviously y'all know one of them, Irving, Lake West, and Moreland, we did not reopen. All 3 of those branches were heavily subsidized branches, getting money from other Ys in our system. And quite honestly, we just can't afford to run all of our operations like we used to. So we had to make some very difficult and hard decisions. And we're going to tell you, I'm going to come back up and tell you kind of what the future of the Irving Y looks like here and how we rebound from this. And I want to share a few things on the staff side. We started with 284 full-time staff through our association. Our association goes from really Irving and Coppell to the west, all the way to Rockwall, Royce City to the east, Waxahachie to the south, and McKinney, Frisco to the north. So 284 staff. We're now currently at 156 full-time staff. We furloughed about 105 in the middle of May. We brought about 60% of those folks back, thankfully, as we've reopened and done some things. It's been good, but we're down over 100 full-time equivalent positions for sure, which means we're serving a lot less people This is gonna be a slow crawl back for some of us. So I'm gonna turn over to Tracy and let her talk about some catalyst initiatives that we're doing that we're very proud of as well.
Yes, so Brandy shared with you about how we had to shift quickly, as I'm sure that some of you all, especially I know the school board and school system had to shift quickly during COVID, but also us as a YMCA and not going from, the original swimming gym that we're known for, but then also being able to shift and serve the community in a very different way. So this Catalyst initiative is what came out of it, and it was just our response to COVID-19 and how we need to quickly turn on a dime and serve our community. So these numbers are not the most recent updated numbers, but they are our numbers as of the end of June. So from March when we closed to June, we gave out 19,000, I think it was 19,000 families, they received food, and this is our entire service area. So it wasn't just at the Irving YMCA, but this is our total YMCA service area. Over almost 15,000 meals. We gave out household products and hygiene products, 2,000 of those. We had to shift to like the virtual experience, and so our preschoolers that was in school at the time, they had to shift to online preschool. And then we also had emergency childcare that we had to develop, all-day childcare. We had this company called CompuDot come in and just give us 450 computers that we were able to give out to some of our children that didn't have access to that in their homes. We gave out over 30,000 diapers, and then just various other things that still continue. The need is still great, and we're continuing to do a lot of this work. So this definitely has shifted us to be able to serve in a very different way, and I think it's a very good thing. And of course, we wouldn't be able to do that without the donations that you guys have provided us, as well as some partners that we partnered with specifically around this work. So Jordan, if you go to the next slide. So this is just some of the partners that either donated financially to this particular effort, and then partners that helped partnered with us and helped facilitate some of this work, and then some in-kind donors. So we have churches, we have banks, we have a variety of supermarkets, just a ton of people that just jumped in and was like, we really want to back the YMCA. Your name is, great in the community. You do some good work. So we want to help facilitate some of that. Okay, so this is where I want you to take a moment, maybe close your eyes. Those of you who have been involved in the YMCA over the years, and maybe you were a coach, maybe you learned how to swim, or I just want you to take a moment and think about the memories that you have of our YMCA and how we served the community when we were in this building, and just connect with those memories real quick for us. Maybe it's a memory around, like I said, about you coaching or you playing sports, or you bringing up your children in the YMCA. Maybe it's a memory around Indian guides. You remember we had Indian guides out here. That is probably one of the most memories that I hear about, people's experience growing up in Indian guides. We call it Y guides now, but just hearing some of those memories and experiences have been great. Maybe it's around, is the flag program going away? Are we still going to be able to store our flags there? And you are. So that's going to continue to happen. And then maybe it's around, in that building specifically, we primarily serve the South Irving part of Irving, and just how we were able to show up for people in that community. And with that memory, I just want to assure you guys that that same memory that you guys experience, or memories that you experience, that we will, and we're committed to continue to build those memories and those experiences with our current Irving community. We are not leaving. We're continue to be the YMCA, and although we don't have a building, the building does not make us. It's us. It's the people. It's the services that we're able to provide and the impact. And although the building was a tool to help us facilitate some of what we were doing, right now we have a brand new way of experiencing that and being able to provide some of that service and even impact Irving on a bigger way. So Jordan, if you would go to the next slide. So the reason why I have this slide up here, and Brandy's going to come and share about how we're going to serve the community going forward. But this particular slide shows that although with the building, we mainly serve the South Irving part of our city. Now we're YMCA Without Walls, and we have the ability to impact the total Irving area in a much greater way. And Brandy's going to talk to us now about how we're going to do that.
So we've traditionally done 4 program areas out of the Irving Y, or even outside of our walls, and we're going to continue those 4. The first one, I think Jordan is 4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So right now we've got 300 kids that live in Irving that are playing sports with us. They signed up online like normal, which normally 90% of our registrations are online anyway. So we got 200 and I would say 30 or 40 playing soccer, and another 50 or 60 playing volleyball. Those numbers are down, but all of our programs, as we talked about, are down because it's COVID related and it's comfort level. But we're still serving in those areas. We're actually using the Irving Y, even though we don't really want to right now, to do volleyball practice because there's no other gyms available. As you can imagine, the ISD is not allowing gyms to be used for reasons that you can understand, and the city rec centers are the same way. So we're having to do things a little differently. During this process, we've developed a better relationship, I think, with the city and some of the management with the city. We have talked to some of the management of the city as well about what the future of the Y looks like in Irving and moving forward. And we're having discussions ongoing with some of those staff members now about, can we possibly be the recreational sport that the city of Irving pushes everybody to, right? Not the select side. Select side is something totally different, club sports, but if you're coming in to learn to play soccer, learn to play basketball, can the Y do that for the city of Irving? And that's something that those talks have gone pretty well. But again, we don't have access to facilities quite yet because of the COVID implications. So next one, I think, is after school. So we have a wonderful relationship with the school district. There are 20 elementaries here and 8 middle schools. We are the provider of after school in all of those 28. Those middle school programs aren't running right now because the need wasn't quite there, the numbers weren't there, but all 20 elementary school programs are running. We've got just shy of 300 kids signed up. This is the second week of school, right? So those numbers are still growing. We had 900 last year, so that gives you an idea of what we did serve. And what we have found throughout our entire area is whatever percentage of kids come back to school will actually come back to our after school program too. So 40% of the kids are coming back to school. We'll have those same 40% of kids compared to what we had last year in our program as well. So it's a good place for kids to be. So looking forward to expanding on that as well. Next one is teens. We've had a very strong teen program here in Irving for years. Youth and government, Model UN, some other things as well. If you guys remember, or if you ever met Dr. Tanya Grimble, she is now with us. She's actually leading our teen program from our association. she is near and dear to Irving, because it's obviously her first job with us. So she will protect that and do well with that. Our youth and government program used to travel to Austin. Middle schoolers went in late February. High schoolers went in early or late January. That's obviously not happening this year with COVID. So all that youth and government program is being done virtually with curriculum and things going. So again, we've learned how to do things differently. So this has helped us. And then lastly is aquatics. We've always had a good sense of aquatics in Irving. We teach between 600 and 900 swim lessons a year at the pool at the Y. And then we always had a really good outreach program that we call Safety Around Water, acronym SAW, of going into apartment complexes, boys and girls clubs, things of that nature, and teaching really a drowning prevention course. So if a kid jumps in or falls in the pool, we teach the child how to swim to the side and how to get to the side or how to push off the bottom. So it's not so much as a full-blown swim lesson, it's more of a drowning prevention that we all need. So Texas is one of the 2 top states with drowning in the summer months for sure. So those 4 areas that we just talked about, we've traditionally done very well in Irving, and we're going to continue to do those 4. I think the future here, we want another capital, we want another building in Irving. It's just a matter of finding the right fit, right location. We're very cognizant, talking to Robert Muzzler, the board members, about serving South Irving and serving North Irving. Where's the right location? We don't really want to just leave South Irving behind. We think, if anything, South Irving needs us more than North Irving. So is that 2 locations? Is that 1 location along 183? We just don't know yet. We don't have all those answers quite yet. So, but we're very cognitive of what Irving needs are and where we can fit in and help with the city and the school district and kind of be that extra plug in the wheel, so to speak. So, I think the last slide for me is, so what do we do with the building and land, right? That's the question everybody wants to know. So we have had talks with the city about the land and or the building. And we're going to have talks with the school district as well, just because those are 2 big entities in town that we would have no problem selling that land and those services to any of those if there's a reason for them to have it, right? So for those of you who've been around a while, there was, I don't know, a couple of managements ago with the city manager and the superintendent, we kind of had put a package together. We were going to do some things that were collaborative and partners, and we're going to probably look to do that again. It's hard for us as any Y, just to raise what now is $15 to $25 million for a building. It's just really hard, as you guys can imagine, especially right now. So we're going to have to think a little bit differently. There's some models out there in the Y world that you collaborate with other folks and other entities, and cities may pass bond packages and you run it. That way the city doesn't have the operating costs for the next 35 years, so to speak. So there's some things we're exploring. If you certainly have any connections that would be interested in that land or the building, certainly reach out to me or Tracy, and we'll connect you with the right folks. We have nothing's done right now. So one thing our properties committee has said to us is we're not probably just going to give it away. If it's a trade in services for something else, or if it's just money to our bottom line, it's earmarked for a future of Irving somehow, whether that's the next building or capital campaign, then that'll be that. But there's no done deal behind the books that I'm not telling you about at this point. This is not something we wanted to do. This is pretty fresh on our mind still. And we want to do what's right for the city and the Irving community with the land as well. So I think it's Q&A time. If you got Q&A for Tracy or I. So there's 16 now. Had 19 branches and 2 camps, and we still have the 2 camps and 16 branches. Yeah, Moreland and Lake West. In Lake West, we're doing similar work in Irving, so we want to stay in the community, but just not with the building right now, until we can find out what the next rendition looks like. Yeah, so, and I have a lot of history with Irving. I supervised Doug when Doug was here, and then John Munoz when John was here as well, which they were both Rotarians here with you guys. Usually the operational budget for Irving was anywhere between $800,000 and $1 million annually. And the association was covered about $400,000 in that. So this Y hasn't supported itself, but it's not unlike a lot of our Ys. We have probably, I would say, half of our Ys support themselves and half of our Ys need extra support to serve the community that we want to serve. So, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, sir. You know what? I don't. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not familiar with the city process and how they acquire other properties and things. It wouldn't have to be on the ballot for us to sell it to them. It maybe have to be on the ballot for them to buy it, right? So it's kind of the city responsibility. Okay. Okay.
Hey, Randy, we got a short presentation to make here. So, most of you know that our YMCA has been or our Rotary Club has been supporting the YMCA with a $5,000 a year contribution. We're one of the larger contributors from the community. Part of that is in exchange for the fact that they let us have the storage facility where we keep almost 1,800 flags and access to that during our flag program, which really runs from June to November. But we've paid $3,750 of it, so I have a check for $1,250. I need a camera, so Amy, since you have your camera, would you stand up? I'm going to let you get a picture, and let's go around in front. Muzer's here too. Come on up, Muzzer. Andy's here. We'll just get the whole board. All right. You want your mask? You can ask. All right. All right. So, all right. Thank you. Maybe you would Tracy and share with us. Thank you for that, Randy. We're grateful for you coming and speaking today. Would it be possible maybe if I put you guys on the calendar in the first quarter of 2021, maybe you come back and give us an update on what's happening, and hopefully schools will be more open and athletic programs will be greater participation. Patty, do you remember what the song was and who you danced with? Is that a personal question? Oh, you could just say anything and, we would. Oh, there were a couple. She remembers there was a couple of cute guys in the room. All right. Well, I know I was asked a few years ago at the YMCA event up at the convention center to share about my YMCA moment. And one of the things I told the group that night is that when we came to Irving in 1982, we didn't know anybody. And the YMCA really was our touch point with the community. And our kids grew up playing Little League ball, and our daughters were in the Indian Guides, and we went to camp at Camp Grady Spruce. But have so many fond memories, and many of the people that I now know in this room and in the community came out of the fact that many of them were involved with the YMCA as well. So I just want to make sure I communicate this room. We've talked at a board meeting recently that the kind of the word on the street or discussion is the YMCA is closing. Well, the building's closing for a lot of reasons, probably the greatest of which is financial reasons. But the YMCA services to this community, I think, a year or 2 years now will be even greater than what they were before COVID came. And so we just need to make sure that if everyone in this room will help us make sure we communicate correctly the story that the YMCA still has a presence, still is serving the children in this community. So Brandy, we thank you. Tracy, the YMCA board, welcome today. Glad you're here. Well, we've got a special treat for you. Is Rick Lindsay still on there? Rick, are you still hooked to a speaker where he can talk? I have to turn this mic off. All right. So Bill LeVar, come on up here too. Rick Lindsay, are you unmuted? All right, so come on right here so you'll be on camera here. So
Yes, sir, Mr. President,
Ken
I'm here.
Lancaster's house. I'm going to ask Rick to kind of tell it a little bit of what we did, and then I'm going to ask Bill to introduce our four-way test for today, and we're going to adjourn in a minute. So Rick, tell the group a little bit about what we did at Rick's house, at Ken's house on Monday.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Am I live?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm down here at an event for Las Colinas at the Toyota Texas Plaza, so I'm sorry I'm not at Rotary. But thank you for the opportunity. Yes, I was invited by President Alsop and Reverend LeVar to join them in going to see Ken Lancaster and his wife at their home last week. It was very, very much an honor for me. And we had prepared a very nice award for Ken, and Robert introduced why we were there and talked about it. And then Robert asked me to read what words were on that award. And it was a very genuine, moving moment for me to get to really see the look and the smile on Ken's face. We thanked him for his years, I think 55 years of membership in Rotary. We thanked him for his commitment to attendance and to the flag program. And then we thanked him, said, Ken, thank you for your enthusiasm and energy in leading the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. And then I asked him if he would lead us in the four-way test. And knowing Ken, he took that right arm, put it up, said number one. We all said it. Number two, second, and then he said third, and he said fourth. And I could see in his eyes, I think he was very happy and pleased to get to lead us in the four-way test. So I want to say thank you to the Rotary Club for giving me that opportunity to go see Ken and share with him and thank him for his years of service. So he handed the baton off to Reverend LeVar, I think. Thank you, Mr. President.
For those of you who haven't seen Ken in a while, he's obviously a very sick man. But he was thrilled that we came over and brought that recognition. His wife was thrilled, and so it was a great moment. So I'm going to channel my inner Ken Lancaster and ask all of us to stand as Ken leads us one more time in the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do.
Before Jordan shows the next video, let me just tell all of you, we've got the full video. I'm getting an echo here. We've got the full video that we're editing down. We're going to show probably next week or two. But if Bill told us that probably Kent's not going to be back at Rotary, we didn't want to miss that opportunity to be able to recognize his 50 years contribution to the YMCA in this community. So that's why we did that. Some of you remember that 2 weeks ago we did hygiene packs. So if you'll just stay standing with me for 41 seconds, Jordan's going to show you a short video, then I'm going to ring the gavel and we're going to be done. You have that queued up, sir? I saw it a moment ago. All right. All right. Well, we'll have that video queued up next week. Sometimes, as you know, going from one video to another on computer is difficult. Thanks to all of you that joined us on Zoom, and to District Governor-elect Max Duplant for joining us today. Next week's program is what, Mike? Irving ISD men's and women's basketball coaches will be here. That's already. Yeah, Brandon, you have to come back for that meeting next week. Nicole, thank you for being here on behalf of Superintendent Magna Hernandez. We want an update from the schools coming soon. We've got a lot of great programs to close out the year. We're already booking 2021. Oh, is it here? 41 seconds. Go to. That's it. Well, we'll have a complete video because they had over 50 homeless people had a chance to shower and clean up as a result of that motorhome. They had feet washed and pedicures and quite a touching moment of generosity, and the Rotary made that happen. So I say thank you for that. Bill and Rick, thanks for your help with that presentation to Ken Lancaster. All of you, I hope you have a great week. We are adjourned.